All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Jessica Hatch. I am the owner of and editor behind Hatch Editorial Services, and I'm happy to be chatting with you here this evening on my YouTube channel. We're going to get started shortly, but it's been a really crazy time, I think, since my last webinar. We've been living through an intense time of change, and I'm so proud of so many people out there. Some things that have happened in the book publishing industry that are not things to be proud of have happened as well, though, including some high-profile resignations at the National Book Critics Circle over some uncomfortable race relations conversations, a lot of conversations about how to have more diversity, not just at the entry level in publishing. And even though it's a very small way, I want to help by doing my part. So in my last YouTube video, I mentioned that I am having an early access community membership, which is all of the perks that come along with the course once the course launches, just happening ahead of time. This includes access to private question and answer sessions with me twice a month, rather than just sitting and learning from me. It's 30 minutes of answering all of the questions you can throw at me. Exclusive access to a private Facebook community of other entrepreneurs. And these perks are going to stick around once the course launches. Right now, I'm retailing that for $49 a month on a subscription basis. But if you're a person of color, a Black person or an Indigenous person who's really trying to break into freelance editing, this is your passion, email me at hello@startyourediting.business and talk to me. I'll get you in there for free. All right. So today we're going to be talking about 3 digital venues for getting editing clients. And the 3 that I'm going to talk about are places that I personally have cold pitched. Either I do so currently when my schedule is a little spotty, or I've done so in the past. And I'm not being paid by any of them, just full disclosure up front. It's just 3 tools that either maybe you've heard of and you'd like to know a little bit more about, or you've never heard of them and this could be a great resource for you. So I'm going to break those down, as well as giving you pros and cons for each of them. And these are all done with respect. So nothing for or against in a negative light. Also, if you have questions, please feel free to use the live chat function. I will answer as many questions as I can get to after I'm done with the lecture part of this webinar. So first, cold pitching. You've probably heard of it. It's like in the old days when salesmen and saleswomen would make cold calls. It essentially means that you don't know your potential client from Adam, and you're reaching out to them, impressing upon them that you are the best person for the job they're trying to hire. In this case, freelance editing, either their work regularly, if it's articles, or a book work length project. So why should you cold pitch? This is probably a really obvious question. Either your schedule is a little bit slimmer on the ground than you would like to be. You'd like to be a little bit more booked up. This can still be the case even if you've been full-time for several years, as I have. Every once in a while you have a slow period and your repeat clients are either working on books and they don't have anything ready for you, or you just you need a little bit of extra cash. So you're going to reach out and you're going to be the one doing the sales pitch rather than entertaining a request for proposal. And this can be a really great way to better understand your value proposition as a business, because you're actively having to say, what can I offer this person that I'm not offering anyone else? So even if you've been doing this a while, it can be a really great way to take the pulse of your business. And here are 3 venues where you can cold pitch and get a little bit better at it. So the first one is Upwork. You may have heard of this. This is a relatively public forum where all you need to do is sign up for an account, and you can go and find freelance work of all different stripes, anything from coding a website to freelance editing, which we're here for. There are pros, definitely. The fact that it's free and you just need to sign up for an account and build a profile, that's pretty nice that you're not going to have to shell out any money to earn money. The search function allows you to pitch projects you really want rather than just ones that maybe don't fit the bill for you. And it's a good way to get client testimonials when you're starting out. I found my very first freelance editing client, Laura Morelli, on Upwork, which I believe had a different name at the time. And, I asked her if I could have a testimonial from our time together. She said, sure. We've worked on a couple of projects, 3 projects actually, at this point, all historical novels. And not with me, but there are a couple of books she has coming out with William Morrow. So it's really exciting that I worked with her on her very first novel. She'd written informational books before. We found each other on Upwork. So it's a really great proving ground for new freelance editors, especially. And I want to emphasize that new freelance editors point, because one con of Upwork is that it can be a little bit of a race to the bottom when it comes to negotiating price. Because it's public, because it's free to have an account, you have a lot of different people pitching the same person, and they can get inundated with these pitches. So a lot of the times it's like, okay, well, I'm comparing these Gala apples with these Granny Smiths and then some oranges over here. So how do I decide what's best? Oh, I know. I'll go with the one that's the cheapest. And as we all know as freelancers, or hopefully know as freelancers, we deserve fair pay. And that can mean different things to different people, but you should at the very least be getting paid. Another con is that you get a set number of coins that you put towards offers at the start of each calendar month when you're on Upwork. You can purchase more, but you have to use extra actual cash to do so, to get these digital coins. So, you can only pitch so many before you have to wait till the next month to pitch more, unless you're going to sign up for a professional account on there. Things to think about. Now, the second venue is the Editorial Freelancers Association. One of the perks that they have for their members is a job board where especially book clients will come and say, I've written this book, I'm looking for a developmental editor, a content editor, a line editor, whatever, a translator sometimes. And these listings are a little bit more vetted because the Editorial Freelancers Association is a professional organization recognized the world over. It's the closest thing that we as freelancers have to a sort of central hub, a Teamsters union, that sort of thing that we can belong to. So for one thing, a pro of having this job board, you have to be a member to access it and to pitch jobs. It's behind a password protected part of their site that's only available to members. One pro of that is you're now a member. You can put that on your website. It carries a certain cachet, a certain weight of respectability. And you don't have to necessarily go to the EFA website to get these listings. They have an option where you can have them emailed directly to your inbox, either as a digest or every time a job comes up. And that's nice. You've got an alert every time a job listing pops up, and you can pick and choose among the ones that you want to cold pitch. A con is that you do have to pay for membership, which I believe is $145 for 1 year. Or if you bundle 2 years, you get like $30 off. It's $260 currently for 2 years of membership. You get the job board and a lot of other great perks along with it. And if you are earning money on jobs, I think that $145 a year it pays for itself after a while. And also if you're getting income as a freelance editor, that's a tax deductible expense. You should talk with your accountant about tax deductible business expenses that you can claim as a freelance editor. One other con is that any EFA editor can cold pitch and put in an offer on a project. So usually if a listing pops up in your inbox and you don't send your brief or your proposal in within an hour of that listing being posted, you might get lost in the shuffle. Again, lots of apples, lots of oranges being compared. That's why if you do go this route, I highly recommend getting the listings sent to you one by one rather than in a daily digest. And then finally, the third venue I want to talk about is Reedsy, spelled Reedsy. This is not so much cold pitching. It's actually kind of lukewarm pitching is what I call it, because you're not so much reaching out to people who've listed jobs. It's more, they have this cool function where the writer picks the profiles of as many as one reads the editor, I think up to a limit of like 10 to get requests for proposals, which is pretty cool because that means that you're already sort of a finalist. You're only competing against, 4 other people usually, rather than the writer being inundated, which I think makes things a lot calmer for all parties involved. Readsy has really, as over the last few years, made a name for itself, becoming a one-stop shop for writers. They've got the editing services. I think they offer some graphic design freelance stuff. They've got like a book generator. They've got tons of free courses and webinars. They're really cool. So you should check them out, whether you're a writer or an editor or somewhere in between. They're based in London, I believe. And one pro of them is that you may get clients from all over the world, which is awesome. It's a nice little pat on the back for you. It's the way that I personally am able to brag that I've worked with clients who live on all 6 habitable continents, really holding out for a researcher in Antarctica, because I think that would be pretty cool. But one pro is that being so international, they handle things that may be a little complex for you on the business end. For instance, value-added tax. This is something that members of the EU, the European Union, if I can talk correctly, have to handle, but perhaps an American editor like myself may not be as familiar with. So they handle VAT, or value-added tax, for you. And like I said, instead of there being tons of editors flooding in with offers, a client gets to choose how many professionals to request proposals from. And then you can respond. You don't even necessarily have to respond to their RFP. You can say, fantasy novels about werewolves aren't really my jam. Or, hey, this doesn't work for my timeline. Best of luck. And another thing, speaking of timeline, a pro is that if you get inundated with client work, you can set an out of office where your profile will be hidden from prospective clients for however long you set that out of office. And then on the flip side of that, you also once a month have the opportunity to boost your profile in Readsy's search engine, and that boost lasts for a week. So you might see more RFPs coming your way during that time. There are a couple of cons to Readsy. One is that they do take a fee out of your editing project, but that's how they make their money. It's equal to about 20%, and that's the value-added tax. Part of that 20% that they take out is covering those taxes so that you and your accountant don't have to worry about them. Another possible con, really more of a bar to jump, is that you have to apply to become a Readsy professional. I think the current requirements are that you need to prove, one of the current requirements is that you need to prove that you've edited something like, I think, 10 books that you've worked on that have been published. And the proof is on the honor system, and you have to post links either to the book on its Amazon page or Google Play, those landing pages specifically for the books. They can be self-published, they can be trade published, but you have to have edited them and they have to be out there in the world so that it's clear you add value and you have a portfolio that prospective clients can look at. Also, you have to keep your conversational interactions with the client on Readsy. This can be a little challenging, especially if you're like me and you like to touch base with the client while you're doing work. But it's for legal reasons. Just in case anything went foul, they want to make sure they have access to all of your information. So no taking the conversation to email or a Skype call or social media. So those are 3 venues where I have had good luck and good results pitching clients and building up a portfolio and earning income, which is what you're all here for, being financially free as freelance editors. So again, check out Upwork.com, check out the EFA job board. That's at the-efa.org. And then also check out Readsy, which is at reedsy.com. And I'm looking over at the live chat and not seeing any questions, but If you do have any questions, please feel free to add them here, or if you're watching this after the video airs, leave a comment and I of course will check it. Or you can email me directly at hello@startyourediting.business. While I'm checking to make sure that there aren't any questions for me during this call, I do want to mention that Reedsy has a referral program in which both the referring editor and the referred editor get a bonus if the application goes through and you become a Reedsy professional. Now, I'm not gonna say that I'll do this for everyone or necessarily even anyone, but if you think that you have a shot based on that 10 books that you've worked on in the past and based on your resume of being a Reedsy editor, it's something you're interested in, send me an email with your CV attached, your resume attached as a PDF, and I'll consider it. If I think it has a fighting chance, I will refer you. So again, that email is hello@startyourediting.business. And then finally, like I said earlier, I am in the process of building this course, Financial Freedom for Freelance Editors. You can find out so much at startyourediting.business. There's already a recording of May's webinar up there. You can tune in to watch future live webinars, which will be happening once a month. And finally, once the course launches, that's where sign up and application and all of that will be living. But in the meantime, I still want to be an educational resource for you. You can do that for free once a month by tuning into these. Next month's webinar is going to be on ways to get more experience as an editor. Say your portfolio is a little bit lacking and you want to seem a little bit more impressive. We're going to talk about ways that you can boost your confidence as a freelance editor. But if you want a little bit extra, like I mentioned at this top of this webinar, you can get early access community membership. It has those perks I mentioned: access to private Q&A sessions twice monthly, access to a private Facebook community, and it's going to be $49 a month. The nice thing is that these perks don't go away when the course launches, and you'll actually have prorated tuition once the course launches, meaning however many months you've paid $49, I'll take that and discount it from the tuition of the course. So if you're interested in learning more or signing up, go to www.startyourediting.business/membership to get started. And again, I want to emphasize, if you're a Black, Indigenous, or person of color, person who's interested in freelance editing, email me. I think that we need diverse books is more than a hashtag. And it's not just diverse authors that bring diverse books into the world. It's having diverse freelance editors, diverse sensitivity readers, diverse agents and publishers and editors, marketers, etc. And diversity means a lot of different things, but race is a huge and very important conversation, one that shouldn't just be popular now. It's one that a lot of important people have really been pushing for forever. And this momentum that has happened in the last few weeks needs to not just be these last few weeks. We need to stand by what we're saying, especially I'm talking to those white listeners who are tuning in. We need to do better as well. Stepping off my soapbox to say thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching this video. I'm here for you as a resource and to try to help you as best I can. And until July, when we talk about ways to get more experience as an editor, this is Jessica Hatch, and I'm signing off, y'all. Have a good night.